Hello and welcome to the StrongCast, where it is our goal to help you perform without limitations. We chat with athletes, experts, and innovators to get their insights in optimizing the movement experience. I'm your host, Dr. Neil Toussaint.
Oh, God,
the lighting's kind of good.
You're really good at landing on your...
Not only is there no room, this is just about to go down right now.
Go on. You can fit.
Oh!
It's fine, we're good.
I don't know if we are.
The first beam is gone.
Okay, one's gone. One's gone. I got lean forwards.
Yeah, put it on your quads in case it falls.
This is
Put it all on your quads, boys.
I haven't put most... Alright, I'm fully sitting.
okay. Alright.
Okay, go on.
Wow, welcome to StrongCast 12 with Tiki and Kojo.
Put it towards Kojo. Said by name.
I don't even know, man. We're at Euphoria 11. I got my black book because I can't organize my thoughts. It's a gathering, you know how it is. But we're in front of a Benjamin Moore paint store.
We made it.
We made it, and hopefully this bench doesn't go down. But
it'd be good content if it did.
It would. But I might lean back a little. Anyway. All right. So start with you, Tiki.
Yes.
How did you develop? Actually, no. Sorry. You guys got to introduce yourself for no one. Literally no one.
Okay.
Everyone knows you. but still do it.
Yes. My name is Tiki Wu, or Kojo Wu. I've been tricking for 7 years now, and I originated in London. I got really good there, and then I moved to Sweden, where I currently reside, and I'd be doing some triple corks here and there. From time to time.
Nice.
That's my thing. Yeah, that's me.
I'm Sam Kojo. I've been tricking since 2010. I love tricks. I do them a lot. I also founded Kojo's Trick Lab, which is a tutorial and tricking entertainment platform.
Very entertaining.
That's me.
That is you. And I just got some questions because the point of the StrongCast is to tease out the tips and tricks from people who are pretty strong.
Yes.
Try to, help everybody improve their performance, longevity, recovery. Just really big on lifestyle and what I mean by that is living a healthy lifestyle that supports your goals and your dreams, right? So I think the first thing we could ask is how you guys got so passionate for movement.
Should I start?
Yeah, we'll start.
I got passionate for movement probably from a pretty early age. I was doing throwing myself around on the trampoline, just throwing myself around on anything back when I was like a kid. Like there's videos of me and my older brother just doing the most outrageous stuff in our living room, like breaking the floor, just diving into the floor. Yeah, so I've always been like an active kid. And then I fell in love with like flipping a little later on when my mom bought me a trampoline, and she bought us a trampoline, and I learned how to throw myself around on there. I could do a front flip, a back flip. I learned how to do a full a little later on. But this was all before I knew what tricking was. And that was like the first little spark of my passion, and then it died out quite quickly after I learned how to do front flip, back flip, and full, because I thought that was all there is to it. I thought that was the only thing I didn't think there was much more to do. And then my mum brought me to a free running class one time, and I saw a guy do a double full on the tramp. I think that was, honestly, I attribute that moment as like a big moment where I was just like, fuck, okay, I don't know what that was, but that looks sick. And then I decided to learn how to do that, and I would say that's where my passion began. Seeing a guy do double full, and then me spending every morning I could just grinding out on the tramp to figure out how I could do it myself.
That's awesome, dude. How about you?
For me, I'm not sure exactly when the flame was first lit.
Ignited.
Yeah. I saw a dance performance in the city centre at one point when I was like a kid. I was there with my mom, and a guy did a backflip, and I remember being so blown away that he could do that. At the time, there wasn't like YouTube or anything, so you weren't seeing flips in the same way you are today. It was really rare to like see flips, and that was the first time I'd seen one in person. It blew my mind. And after that, when I was 12, my mom got me a trampoline. It was an 8-foot trampoline, so it was small. but I learned a front flip on it, and I like to bounce on my back on it a lot. I didn't learn any other flips for a long time, but I went on it a lot and just bounced around on my back and did front flips. When I was 12 years old in my religious studies class,
Nice.
then they asked, like, we had to draw our idea of heaven. And I got this somewhere. I've got this somewhere in my house. My idea of heaven was a wall with a crash mat beneath it, because if I had that, I could learn flips. That's what I drew. This is before I could do any flips. I drew a wall with a crash mat because my dream. I remember it's like MTV Made is what I'd seen.
Oh,
Have you seen? Remember MTV Made?
Oh yeah.
So they had a kid who wanted to be a stuntman, and they had him like doing jumps and flips off like a wall onto a deep crash mat, and that was like my dream in life. I was like, if I had access to that and I could do that, that's it. I wanted that more than anything else in the world. But I actually started training and getting into it when I was like nearly 16. It was like just before my 16th birthday. My mom found an open tumbling class. I went there, I met free runners, and they were amazing. Blew my mind. Saw a guy do a standing flash kick, and I couldn't comprehend it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Honestly, that's some video game stuff.
Learned a backflip. I learned a backflip like the week before. That's why my mom found me the class. I learned it on a mattress in my garden.
Nice.
That's it.
But,
Nice.
Yeah, and then since then I just kept training. And apart from being injured, there hasn't been a week that's gone by in the last 12 years where I haven't trained. Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
haven't. There hasn't been a week that's gone by where I haven't done flips apart from when I'm injured.
Yeah. That's
Nice.
wow.
That's that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do the crash mat thing?
One day I'll have my own crash mat.
Honestly,
just in my house, I
want
just
a
have
crash
a room.
mat.
I have a room that's just, it's got a wall and a crash mat, and that's it.
just the idea of like some parents, like the teachers coming up to the parents and go, this is what your kid made, and this is what his depiction of heaven is. Yeah, and it's just a really weird drawing of a wall.
all the other
What's
kids,
that
all the
block
other
on the
kids
floor?
doing blue lagoons and mountains, unlimited desserts, all this shit, theme parks, all these amazing things. I just got a wall and a crash mat.
That is the strangest
That's
thing they
what I
must have seen.
wanted.
Honestly, they probably still talk about it to this day. Like, that was the weirdest thing I ever saw.
The kid just wanted a big pillow. That's pretty weird.
I just wanted to jump on.
That's honestly brilliant.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I love that.
Me too. All right, moving on.
Yes.
What do we got here? All right. This is a great one. How would you guys? Well, let's start with Kojo. How would you describe your rate of progression up until now, and how are you able to get it to that point?
Ooh, good question. So it comes in peaks and troughs, peaks and valleys in the progression. It's really up and down, depending on injuries and depending on just a bunch of other factors. It's really hard to tell like what the main reason for progression is, because sometimes I've had a pretty good training situation and I've been training regularly and it's like not been great, but then other times I've like not been training that much and it's gone amazingly. It's a bit all over the place. I think now I have a pretty good system down where it's kind of guaranteed progression in some ways. Like, I try to work on I have like a lot of goals simultaneously. I have weekly goals and kind of monthly goals, yearly goals. Like, so there's some stuff that I know will take me like 2-3 years to get, but I'll still like every week I'll put in a little bit of work towards that. And then there's some stuff that I know I could probably do next week, some stuff I could do next month. So I have like 15, 20 goals, and every session I'll go there and I'll work on like at least 5 or 6 of them. And I try and I use a tricking planner to make sure that every one of my goals gets at least some practice every like 2 weeks. I try to not leave it more than 2 weeks. So yeah, I tend to learn like new moves, new combos at least every 2-3 weeks. I'm always getting new things. I really appreciate that now. There was a time where I used to really hate everything I did and feel like, oh, it's not good enough, and was always thinking about the next thing. But now if I do something that's like brand new, or I do something better than I've ever done it, then I'm really happy with that. Like after my sessions, I try and think about, did I do something new? Did I do something the best I've done it? And normally there's at least one thing, even if it's a terrible session, like it could be a cartwheel scissor or something. There's always one thing that you've done better than you've done before, or you've never done. It's just a new combination.
For sure.
So I try and like really appreciate that and focus on that.
Do you feel like that gratitude, I can just call it gratitude practice basically, for tricking, which is awesome. Do you feel that that's really helped the progression more so, or the systemized way of like, I really like that you're like basically rinsing through, you have like 15 or 20 things and you're just rinsing through the Rolodex, like, it's like, hey, did I hit this, did I hit this?
Well, the way I train them really changes. Like, let's say triple B twist is one of my goals. Now, how I'll train that will really depend. If it's a really shit session and I'm feeling terrible, I can train my triple B twist by just putting in a few reps of like really high B twists trying to get on the axis I want to get to.
Yeah.
And that's some work towards triple B twists. I count it as that.
Yeah,
so it doesn't always have to be going super hard,
No.
but it's just something that's towards
A bigger goal.
that goal. And I'd say, yeah, not so much, the planning does help. It helps me not fall off with tricks and like keep putting in some work towards them. But with the gratitude stuff, that's more so like motivation and enjoyment of tricking.
Absolutely.
I feel like that keeps it really fun for me. I'm still, after 12 years, like before sessions, most of the time I'm really excited to go to the gym. Like still, it's never a chore. It's never something that I'm like tired of or bored with. Like I'm just really excited to go and train. And my main goal, more than like my progression, is just to keep that alive, because if you have that, then you'll progress anyway and you'll enjoy every step of the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, because I put out a challenge, Spark Challenge. Basically, it's like a 30-day challenge where you... This thing's gonna go down. This is going down. It's a 30-day challenge where you condition a certain amount of time, train a certain amount of time. And I got a DM, and the guy was like, dude, I'm too old to be training that much per week. And I was like, in the video, we talked about intensity, and that's what people forget about a lot. And that's what you're saying about tricks. Like, you don't have to hit your hardest stuff every time to work towards your goals. You can just work towards them. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything?
Yes,
Tiki?
my progression has been, I would say, from when I started, I was definitely really motivated, and the way I progressed was by not wanting to be the best, but wanting to be ahead of the best trickers at my age. So how I started 14 years old, 14, 15 is well, like, I started at 14 years old. That's when I started going like properly into tricking.
Okay.
And I would always just try and follow whatever Ilya and Guthu were doing at 14. I tried to be ahead of that. That was my way of like, okay, if Ilya did triple cork in combo at 15, I'm gonna do triple cork at combo at 15. So I know that I'm in line to be as good as him. That was my original, my game plan, right, when I started. And that carried me up until 15, 16. Well, it carried me for about a year and a half, I'd say, before Shosei turned up. and then it fell apart pretty quickly, because it's like, you know, at 15 I had done, I think at the time it was the world's youngest triple full swing double cork. I was the youngest to do triple full swing double cork, and I was like, okay, this is something that I can do, that I'm the youngest right now who's done it. I feel like pretty good about that. I feel like I'm in line to be a really good tricker. And then Shosei came, and he basically just got really good, and he did like, at like 13, he did scoot, triple full, swing dub, and I was like, okay, I've lost. My time trying to compare myself like age-wise to these best people is over. And so I stopped caring about what other people were doing and just tricked for me for a long time. And so I just thought about what I think looks cool for tricking. I tried to replicate it. I did a lot of copying or like adding on to other people's, my favorite parts of other people's styles. So like I really got like after Shosei got really big, and I just stopped caring about like trying to copy Guthrie or Ilya. I started to just do things. Okay, I think Slava's cheat 12, Vanish 12 looks really nice. I'm just gonna try and do that. Got that, and then I got really, just being able to copy my favorite people, or like and build off of their, their concepts they've already put down. I really enjoyed, and then I would say, I was steadily progressing, like I was progressing, not necessarily crazy fast, but I was progressing a lot. And then I made the move to Sweden 3 years ago. When I was 16, 17, and I kind of just, for the first like 6 months that I was living there, I had no spring floor, and so I kind of just got a little fat. I ate a lot of shit. And I didn't train enough. I just trained on grass, so I actually got a little chubby. And then we finally managed to snag a floor, like a really shitty small floor, but it was something. And then from there, having access whenever I wanted to like a floor where I could train alone or just with a couple of people instead of having to like wait for people. In London, at the open sessions, there's always people who have no spatial awareness that will bump into you mid-combo. So without having to worry about that, and being able to just go out with my friends whenever is when I started to get really good. And I'd say like 2020 to now, or like to 2020, early 2020 to 2021, like early 2020 to mid 2021, I was just on a warpath. I was just doing everything that I wanted to do. I basically just like, I had goals and I was working on them every session. Like I was getting new shit every session. Really hard stuff. And then what unlocked a lot of like the harder combos that I ended, and I think what really pushed me into the next level was actually landing, after I landed quad cork, I opened up to my mind to realize that, because for a long time when I was leading up to when I was chasing it and I was getting close to doing quad cork, I kind of just thought in my head, like, there was a lot of thoughts of like, am I really good enough? Like the people who have done it are so legendary and so good. Am I even, like, am I actually that good? I had a lot of doubts in my head about whether or not I deserved it or I was at that level yet. And then I kind of thought, well, I feel like I can do it, so I should just listen to that. And then after I did it, that was a huge mental shift where I just started thinking, well, no matter the preconception of how hard something is, or if something has never been done, I shouldn't let that stop me from believing that I could probably do it. And then like, stuff like, you know, that really opened me up to just doing things that, you know, maybe nobody else has done before, but if I think it's doable, then it should be doable for me. Stuff like dub times 4 swing trip. I thought I was stupid. I thought I was really stupid. Nobody had done that before. I know, but like I felt like I could do it because I just felt like I had a really good dub times 4 swing. So I was like, why don't I go for it? And then I did it, and it was like it's stuff like that where it's like after the quad cork, that mentality shift where I started really making like doing stuff that I really like, and it's really hard, but I'm not gonna let other people's preconceptions or like the preconceptions of how hard the trick is affect me actually wanting to do it. Yeah.
That's awesome. That is great. There were so many journeys you took us through.
Cool. That's been my progression.
No, that's great, man.
Yeah. And then up to now, like after that big crazy 2020, 2021, right now I would say that honestly I've hit like the majority of my dream tricks and combos. Like my list isn't long anymore.
Yeah.
The things that I want to hit nowadays are like not big massive goals like quad cork, trip, triple B, because I've done all these things now, and honestly I don't really mind not having like crazy amounts of goals and stuff. Nowadays I just like, if I feel like I see something or think of something that I want to do, I'll try it. I don't have these like big looming, like people have in the background just like triple cork, quad cork. I don't have any of those anymore, it feels like.
That's great, man.
So it's a weird feeling.
You won.
I did. I feel like
you won tricking.
I feel like I won the game for a while, and now it's like I'm just. I keep training, but I'm definitely not progressing the way I was when I was really wanting to get those goals.
Right.
And I'm fine with that.
Was this all at the gym that has very seemingly small space?
Yes, it's a lot. It's deceptively small.
I love that because I've seen it in comments of, oh my God, you're so limited, all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, but that was you not being limited because you weren't in a better environment.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Like
a better mental environment.
I feel like
because people weren't running around.
There's a lot of people who would say, like, comment, and they'll be like, do you ever, or ask me, like, do you ever feel bad when you see like Shosei and the better environment that they have and they have massive space? And I was like, you know, well, it's not like I'm going to be able to go there. So it's like, I'm going to work with what I have.
Work with what you got.
And it's like, it doesn't, in my mind, if you're so demotivated by your, like as long as you have the bare minimum, I think you can make a lot of shit work. Right, and the bare minimum for me is a floor under a roof. As long as I don't have to worry about weather or like uneven, or uneven like.
That is, I mean, most I'd say probably like 90% of the trickers in the world would see your situation as like an absolute blessing.
Yeah, no,
it's still
exactly.
amazing.
It's still amazing. No, it
somewhere
is.
dry that you have unlimited access.
It is incredible.
I would
You know,
rather
like-
have a bad floor with unlimited access than an amazing floor.
Yeah,
with
no,
like 3
this
sessions
is
a
what I
week.
was saying.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I feel so blessed in a lot of
Totally.
ways. Like, it is a dream situation for me in a lot of ways. Like, there's so many people who are like, oh yeah, you could have it better, but I
Can always
like
be
my
better,
floor.
but yeah.
I like my
Yeah.
floor. Like, even though it's a bit of a shithole, I do love it.
No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right, let's see what we got in this book. I got a lot of stuff, but these
It's
questions.
a lot to get through.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So cheers.
Keep them short, boys. All right. So, what's your strength and conditioning routines, mobility, training, outside of tricking?
Start with me.
Sure.
Yeah, go.
Outside of tricking, I try and do this year has been a little bit different because I had this summer job where I'm just biking every day and picking up trash around the town, and it basically means that I've had rehab every day for just free, basically. I'm earning money whilst just rehabbing my knees. It was a dream job, honestly. Literally.
So sweet.
I literally ride. It's like an electric bike, so I definitely have help like going uphill, but it
Even
does
more
work. It does work your legs, bro. And so like and my knees have been in honestly not the best condition this past year, so that has helped massively. Just going out every day, biking for 8 hours, coming home, earn some money, and also earn some money in my knees. So that's been my I've done a lot of that, and I do have conditioning sessions outside of that, where I'll pull up to my friend who has like a little house gym, and I have a little routine for myself that's made up of a bunch of different exercises. I did some knees over toes guys exercises I've stuck in there. I have some exercises that my physio, or there's a physio on the island that has recommended me some stuff. You know, I just try and take some from some different sources.
Nice.
And then I just have a little conditioning session.
I think it's important to. People don't realize how much load they put on their body outside of their training.
Yeah.
And if your lifestyle is active, that's a very good start.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we sit a lot.
Yeah.
In general, sometimes on really bad benches. So you got to get up and move. How about you? Oh God, he's trying to crash it. I felt like a few times now. I feel you trying to crash it. I think Tiki said the word fat once, and then you were like, yeah, let's break it.
Yeah, I feel like I never have any special insight on with the strength and conditioning stuff.
Yeah.
It's always just been about the consistency with me and making sure I always do stuff.
Yeah.
And I lift, but not that much. Normally, maybe once a week.
Yeah.
That's
But
really good.
for the most part, I do capoeira 2 times a week at the moment.
That's nice.
That feels incredible.
When did you start
for my
that?
body? A few months ago now.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been learning. It just feels great for my hips, and I'm always pouring with sweat,
Yeah.
and I feel
Nice.
so loose afterwards. I'm on my hands load, so I
Yeah,
condition
yeah.
my wrists, shoulders, and you're doing a load of back flexibility stuff. I could barely bridge before that, but now it's way easier.
That's
and
awesome.
Yeah, that's been helping a bunch.
I have the opportunity to start some capoeira, so that's why I'm okay.
It's really good. I really
Honestly,
like
if
it.
I had the
It's a lot of fun.
opportunity, I would take it.
Yeah, I'm going to.
I think watching high level capoeira has been so inspiring to me. Even these guys in the gym now.
See,
Totally.
Eureka.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The way that they have the one-on-one battle things,
Yeah.
it's insane.
It's
They
cool.
go so
Yeah.
hard.
It's cool.
They go
It's
so
cool.
it's so beautiful to me.
But
I
yeah.
think the reactionary part of it, where it's in a tricking bout, you wait for your opponent to be done and stuff.
that's
But the
instant.
reactionary, exactly. So seeing someone come at you with a compasso or something and having to duck under.
Also, there's not really an element of momentum so much. They try and do everything staying in place.
Yeah,
So you got to
yeah,
travel
yeah.
as little as possible.
Yeah.
Step back
Yeah.
on yourself into stuff.
and I think keeping your eye on the target the whole time is
Yeah.
insanely difficult for
So
someone.
much body
It's
awareness.
so much body work.
Yeah.
So
But it's
much body
really
awareness.
really impressive. I'd say as well. Capoeira.
Yeah.
Yeah, so capoeira is your main jam right now?
At the moment, I've always loved
awesome.
tramp as well.
I think biking too, no?
I used to. I don't cycle much anymore. I
Okay.
don't cycle much anymore.
Yeah.
I've been spoiled because for a long time, then I didn't have a car. It's a
Yeah,
thing.
gotcha.
But now it's so easy.
I feel
It's
you.
so
Yeah.
easy. And also, at the moment, I'm not too hard on myself because I used to cycle everywhere. When I worked at the gym, I worked there 4 days a week, and I used to cycle 10 miles there, 10 miles back
Yeah,
every
that's
single
crazy.
time. But yeah, now I don't cycle that much because I don't have to, and also because I'm just working a lot at the moment. So like my time is very tight. Like I have to get to places. Like as soon as I finish one thing, then I'm on to the next thing, until I like get home at 10 p.m. and then go to bed and have to get up really early tomorrow. It's like there's no time, so I'm just trying to like be efficient.
Right. Yeah.
But I go to the gym and I still do cardio at the gym. Like I run at the gym.
Great.
At least once a week. So.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I don't want to keep this too much longer, but I just want to end with one last question of what was your biggest obstacle in tricking and how did you overcome it? Like specifically like injuries or plateaus that you were not able to overcome, and like maybe some useful tips for anyone going through something similar.
My biggest obstacle was myself. Was my own pride. Yeah, my biggest obstacle was kind of was myself.
Yeah,
it was always
a lot of times
pushing too hard, but not in the right ways, valuing the wrong things. Like I always used to tell myself, a very like teenage mindset of like, I was always like, don't be a bitch. I was always telling myself to not be a bitch about things and like go for it. And even when I was like tired, then don't be a bitch. You can do this. You can land it. And it's good for some things, because if you just give up straight away, you don't. You know, the people who just give up on everything, but when they've tried it a couple times, you're not going to get that far.
Yeah, of course.
But at the same time, it was also just wearing my body so hard, because even though I was like really tired, I'd still be forcing these power moves, and my body just got to a point where it felt so bad. Like leading up to when I broke my ankle in 2018, like before then, I got to a point where I was tricking really good. I could do like cork dub, swing, like most sessions and all these like quite hard power combos, but I felt terrible.
Right.
So I could do a lot, like I just kind of forced through.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt really bad. And after breaking my ankle, I came back a lot smarter, more measured, because I was like, I don't want to feel how I did before that. I wanted to rebuild better. And since then, I've kind of completely changed my approach and focused much more on like gently working towards things instead of forcing it, like not being in a rush. I don't need to do it today. I just need to work towards it today. Like my goals are, I'm always thinking I have all these combos and goals that I need to work towards. If I do it, then great. But if I don't do it, I've still won, because my goal was to work towards it. My goal wasn't even to land it.
Yeah.
And eventually, I land the combos.
Yeah.
It comes anyway, and I feel much better for it. And yeah, like I have an analogy for strength and conditioning. I kind of see that as like, if your body's the car, then that's like your seatbelt and your airbag.
Totally.
All of that stuff. But understanding tricking technique and how you progress towards things, that's not running red lights. And that's like not speeding, you know, or not driving drunk. Because you could be conditioned as you want, but if you're sending double flips you're not ready for on concrete, it's like you're going head on into another car. You got your seatbelt on, but it's like you're gonna get messed up anyway. And I always, like, even when my body felt terrible, I did like work out a lot, and I was in quite good shape but feeling bad. But since changing that and focusing more on technique and like understanding what I'm doing, then I'm in a lot less pain, and I feel younger now than I did then. I feel much better at 28 than I did at 24, for sure. Yeah, like my body feels much healthier, more mobile, less pain when I trick.
That's awesome. Just a quick thing on that, like, I remember thinking it was weird, and it is. If you can't run or do basic human movement, but you can trick, there's an issue.
There is an issue.
Yeah, I had that.
Like,
I could do 10 switches, but sprinting would like really hurt.
Yeah, same. That's what I'm talking about. Me, like, before the share goes down, like, I remember I was running after me and Henry. You know Henry.
I know Henry.
You need to meet Henry.
I do want to meet Henry.
All right, sorry for the interruption, guys. There is some good news and some bad news. The good news is that Tiki and Kojo have both agreed to doing a part 2. So let us know in the comments what topics you want us to cover and if you're looking forward to it. Bad news is that the audio got cut off, so basically the rest of the footage is lost. I was just telling a story, and I'll just continue it, about how when I had started tricking about a few years afterwards, I was 2008 or so, we're running to go to Aviator, which is a gym in New York. We're running for the trains. There's a train, there's a bus, it's a whole situation. Henry is very, very fast. If you haven't seen him run or move or anything, he's a very fast and somewhat lanky guy, so faster than me. He's sprinting his ass off basically, and I'm just trying to keep up. We're about to miss this train. I basically tear my hip flexor, just again, getting back to the theme of, I think we should be able to do some basic movements before, you know, some of the tricks that we're doing, because if we're doing it in the reverse order, we're predisposing ourselves to injuries and inefficient movement and all this kind of stuff, which is basically what we ended up talking about at the end with Tiki and Kojo. Kojo has already explained his bout with that, how he couldn't do, he could do 10 gainer switches and sprinting hurt, and that he was feeling terrible after his before his ankle break, and afterwards he really put a lot more focus into that longevity piece, into feeling better, into moving better, and that has translated greatly into his movement, into just how he's feeling overall. Tiki said something similar. He's talking about doing dub trips and all this crazy stuff and not being able to walk down the stairs. So this doesn't seem to be a healthy trend, and we've all done it, but we got to get out of that, is kind of the moral of the last part of this podcast that we had for you guys, is just to start focusing on how you're feeling, listening to your body, because if you want to enjoy this for years to come, and if you want to break past any barriers you're currently having, the path is getting out of pain and into moving better. So hope you guys enjoyed this. We will be doing a part 2, so stay tuned for that, and till next time.